Greetings. Our Frederick Riddle here with another episode of Becoming a Published Author is Fun. And if you don't understand that, check out episode 8. This is episode 2553. And we're covering a subject I don't think I've ever talked to you about before, but it's called sequel or book number. The reason I do it that way is because a sequel is your second book of a two. Usually it's just two books, the original and then the second one, and it's usually called the sequel. But sometimes people write a series, such as I did. And so then you have book one, book two, and so forth. Same basic thing. So that's why I'm combining the two together. So how do you go from a one book to the next? The connection. What's the connection? How do you get the reader to understand? Now, I've seen different ways about this. And so I'm going to discuss it really quick and briefly here, but I want you to understand it. So one is I call it the common method, and an LCF, last last chapter, first chapter. So what a lot of authors do is they take a book and they take the last chapter of the original and put that in as the first book or first chapter. Sometimes they may call it the introduction, but they put it in the front and then proceed from there. That's called, and I call that's name's totally mine. Last chapter, first chapter. And it's an effective way. A lot of authors use it and they use it successfully. And so what happens is when I first did my series, my very first series, before I did that, well, actually, it doesn't really matter because they were two separate books, and it didn't really follow in a series format. But a lot of books will use that format, and it's good. I've read a lot of them. They're very good. Another one I just call other, and this one here is for an R there, and that is for you read it, you repeat different things, you refer to it. What we're going to do is we're going to fill this out here and make it refer. Now, how does that happen? Okay, you have your last chapter of the first book. So in the new book, instead of repeating it as up here you refer to it. And that can be in the opening moments of the chapter or further along, but it's in the first chapter. So we'll just say that in first chapter. And so that makes it possible for the reader to understand what's been going on, because sometimes, and I've done this actually, I picked up a book in the maybe it's the second or third book, and I don't know what's going on. Now if it's hardcover with paperback covering, it's very easy because they usually have a thing there where you can describe all that's taken on in beforehand. You could also do an introduction in the front of your book explaining what's happened. But if you're like most authors, what you do is in the first chapter of your new book, you have it refer, and you can remember I've talked about the show Don't Tell. Do you use that too? You could have your characters actually refer back to incidents in your previous book, and so you can use that as a way of reference, and it works well. You build it right into your story, and so that may seem very simple to you, but it's helps you tie, because tying it, if you're doing a series, you want your books tied together. Now, if you're on a sixth book, that didn't show up, did it? Okay, so okay. So let's put this in the sixth book here. Sixth. Okay. So I did a series, six book series. And so the book, though, in my case, did not have to refer back because each one was about a different situation, a different man, different leading character. But let's say that you had a book in which you're following one character all the way through. You can have the references in the first chapter of each book. Second book will refer back to the first book. The third book might refer back to the previous two, and so forth, so that you have a collection of information that's put into you, and it's in story form, so that you can understand and place it in there without distracting you from the current plot. That is something that takes you need to learn how to do, and that is something you learn if you take a writing course of any type. Most people would probably teach you on that. And so that's one of the things that basic authors training is training you to be able to write and to do even a series. And so this is very important for you to understand that when you have a sequel or you have a series of several books, you need to be able to keep the reader's attention. And if they start out reading the book and the reader talks about something but doesn't really refer back to the incident, then the reader gets confused and they put down the book and they may never buy one of your books again. So that's a very important fact to figure into your own writing style. You can different ways you can do this, but you need to find one, and if it works, stick with it. That becomes part of your style, and so people will then know that when they buy the book, they'll know that it's going to tie into those previous books, if there is a tie-in. So that's it for today. I just wanted to share that with you. That's my call it coaching tip if you want, but it's another piece of advice that you can use now. I will see you in the next video. And if you have the opportunity, please subscribe to my channel. It encourages me to inform encourage you, and inspire you. So you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.